Hi, thanks for tuning in and for coming back. Today we're going to talk about exchanging your camera using the GoPro Plus subscription and how easy or hard that actually is to do. So, if there's anything you wanted to know about exchanging your camera using your GoPro Plus subscription, this is the video you should be watching. So, thanks for coming back and for watching this channel. I really do appreciate it. And if you do like these videos, remember to click that like and the subscribe button. Anyway, the reason I wanted to make this video is because I've seen a few problems with people who've tried to exchange their cameras using their GoPro Plus subscription. And I just wanted to clarify a few things for people and to let you know exactly what you need to be doing when it comes to exchanging your camera. So, where to begin? So the first step would actually be to go to the GoPro website, click on the Contact Us button, and there you can start a chat with one of the representatives, or you can request a callback. If you request a callback, it should tell you that the operators may be busy, but somebody will contact you within the next 15 to 20 minutes. And to credit GoPro, they did contact me back within 20 minutes. So step one, make sure you leave a contact number that people are going to be able to phone you at, and make sure you have your phone on you. That's very important. So something to note is that if you have a GoPro Plus subscription, an exchange on your camera is not free. You actually do have to pay a replacement fee, but that fee is tiny compared to the actual cost of going out and buying the whole camera brand new. In this case, I would have had to pay about, what was it, $300 for a new GoPro Hero 9, but I was able to get it exchanged, my broken one for a fully working one, for $99. So depending on what camera you are having replaced, you will have to pay the appropriate fee to have it replaced. So you're going to need two things when you actually manage to speak to a representative, and that is you're going to have the email address associated with your GoPro Plus subscription, and you're going to actually have the serial number of your camera. Now there's a couple of places to find this out. If your camera still powers on, you can actually find that information on the rear screen in the About section. Or you can actually remove the SD card from your camera, put it in an SD card reader, and that will actually have your camera serial number on it. Now, GoPro do claim that they have a no questions asked replacement policy when it comes to the actual GoPro Plus subscription, but they do ask you questions. They're obviously going to ask your email address to confirm that you have a subscription. They're also going to ask you for that registration number for your camera, the camera serial number that is, and that's to confirm that it was registered with your account, which, by the way, if you haven't done, you should register your camera in your GoPro Plus account. But on top of that, they also ask you to send pictures of the damage of the camera. Now, in this case, with mine, it was a USB port that was damaged. There was no actual physical damage that you could see, so I just sent them a photograph of the camera's USB port. And that kind of took a while because the representative, put me on hold while they go and spoke to their supervisor to see if I qualified for replacement, which honestly kind of was at ends with their own policy of no questions asked. So yeah, they will ask you for details, and I really do feel that part could be improved. I mean, after all, if I'm paying for this service, it really should be a no questions asked policy. Basically take my details and see what I want exchanged. Another thing to note is that GoPro needs you to send in your old camera before they will actually replace it with another camera. So if you've lost your camera or if you've had your camera stolen, that is not covered by the GoPro replacement policy. After all, anyone could say, whoops, my camera went missing, I want a new one. And, that kind of wouldn't be exactly honest or fair. So GoPro, they do ask you to send in your old camera because damaged cameras, smashed cameras, broken cameras, they're all covered. But missing cameras or stolen cameras, not covered. So one of the things is, what do you send back? After all, when you get a GoPro camera, it comes in this lovely case. It, comes with the camera, instruction manuals, USB cables, mounts, and all that. So what do you send back? The only thing that you send back is the camera itself. That's all. Do not include the case. Do not include any accessories whatsoever. I mean, the advice I give to people, hold it in your hand. Is there anything else in your hand besides a camera? If there is, then don't send it back. If there isn't, do send it back. But it doesn't stop there. See this side door? It's removable. don't send it back. The battery itself, remove it from the camera. Do not send the battery back. Make sure you remove the SD card from your camera. Another thing I'll say is that some people probably went off and bought the hydrophobic protector that now fits the Hero 9 and the Hero 10. Take it off. This is what you send back. Just the camera, no battery, no SD card, nothing else. And the reason for that is when GoPro send out the replacement, they're going to send you nothing but a camera. If you send in accessories, you're not going to get those back. Basically, with GoPro cameras, they come from a separate site. That's their distribution center. But refunds are actually handled by a completely different company. It's basically like a third-party logistics company that handles refunds. So anything you send in with the camera, you're never going to see it again. So if it can be removed, remove it and make sure you only send back the camera and nothing else. No accessories, no batteries, no SD card. So what's going to happen when GoPro basically say, yep, we will exchange your camera for you? Well, first of all, they're going to basically take your details and confirm what they're doing, which is exchanging your camera as per your GoPro Plus subscription. They will agree to send you out an RMA form, getting tongue-tied to her, which is basically Return Merchant Authorization Form. And basically that's going to be received by you via your email. Now, you got to make sure that does not go into your spam folder or your trash folder or anything like that. It's been known to happen. But GoPro basically said they would send that out to me, and it arrived within 2 hours. And that piece of paper is very important because without that piece of paper, you cannot return your GoPro to anyone. So you need to make sure that you get that. And that form is basically the form that covers the shipping. You print it off, you stick it to the outside of the box that you're going to send back, or the envelope. If you live in the UK, you might actually have to print off 2 or 3 copies if you're putting it on a box, but GoPro do give you instructions for that. You will also be told then that you'll be contacted by a separate GoPro representative, and they will take payment details from you for the replacement camera fee. So with the GoPro Hero 9 and 10, I believe that replacement fee is about $99 US, and you'll receive a phone call within, I'd say, about 3 hours from another representative waiting to take your credit card details. So to give you a timeline on how this all works, basically I'd phoned GoPro on a Monday, and I got all the payment information sorted out and the RMA form sorted out on the same day. However, due to the fact I was busy, I didn't get to actually send off my camera to GoPro until Thursday from an authorized UPS center, because UPS will be actually doing the shipping for you. Now, what happened there is when GoPro took my credit card details, they did charge me $1, which is basically like an authorization fee for the return of the GoPro. And that happened on the Monday. But I wasn't charged the $99 replacement fee until I brought that GoPro to the UPS center and had them scan it in. I would suggest you actually bring it to a UPS center. Don't just drop it in a UPS box, because if anything happens with that, you want to make sure that you have a receipt in hand. And that can only happen if you go to a UPS center itself. If you put that camera in a Dropbox, you've no proof that the camera went into a Dropbox. So trust me, go to a UPS center. Now, with UPS, they had scanned it in on the Thursday that I dropped it off, and immediately I was charged that $99 by GoPro as soon as they received that shipment information. And by Friday, UPS had actually started the actual moving of the parcel, and GoPro received it the following Wednesday. So that took, bit over a week. I mean, on my behalf, since I actually left it so late, I would actually say the process started on a Friday. And by the time I received a replacement camera, it was actually 14 days. That's how long the process actually takes. Remember, nothing happens until you mail your camera back. So there is no shipment arranged or anything like that until GoPro physically receive your camera and process the return. So when you get your replacement camera, what are you going to get? Well, you're going to receive a brown box. And in that brown box, there's going to be another brown box. And within that brown box, you're going to have a little tear-off strip up here, which you're going to tear off. And you're going to open up. And as you can see, it's a very plain brown box. It's got a GoPro holder on it, and it's got the GoPro camera in it, and that is it. It contains nothing else, as you can see, but your replacement camera. Now, this camera that I got, it actually had the covers on it, had the little tear-off strips. A lot of people see this and think, oh my gosh, I've just gotten a second-hand camera, but that's not the case. This is what they call e-commerce packaging. And e-commerce packaging is basically when GoPro decide that they're going to sell to businesses and stuff, they're not going to use the expensive case, the expensive printed packaging with all the specs on it, because, you know, they're selling these cameras usually like 10, 20, 30, or even a couple of hundred at a time to businesses. And packaging is actually quite expensive. So to keep the costs low, all they have are these bare bones boxes. So it's literally just a GoPro logo, a camera holder, and a camera. And this is why it's important not to send back your GoPro case, any of the accessories that came with your camera or anything like that, because you will not get those back. So I very carefully inspected my camera when I got it back, and I looked for any signs of wear and tear and damage to see if it was a second-hand camera or anything like that. And it wasn't. It was brand spanking new. And I think a lot of people get confused thinking that when they see a plain box like this, that they're getting some sort of second-hand camera that's being refurbished or reused. I found absolutely no evidence of that. There wasn't a single mark on the camera. It looked absolutely brand new. And I reckon I got a brand new camera as a replacement. It just came in a plain e-commerce box. So like I said, that whole process took 14 days. I got my camera back and it worked fully. I did have some problems like setting up the camera. I couldn't do the update from the SD card. And I'm not surprised because that SD card came from my old GoPro camera. I had just stuck it into the new one because I didn't want to lose the files. So I actually had to do a manual update on the camera. And then I had to disconnect from the app and reconnect to the app before I could actually save the new camera name. So yeah, there were a few setup issues with it, but that was caused by me using an old non-formatted SD card, which I kind of always recommend against. But in this case, I was putting it into a GoPro. I still had files on it from the exact same model that I exchanged. So, you know, I just went ahead with that and haven't experienced any issues. The camera works fully, it uploads over Wi-Fi like it should, and it works with the media mod. So, is it worth actually having a GoPro Plus subscription? I would say that depends. I mean, there are three main advantages to having a GoPro Plus subscription. Sorry, four main advantages to having a GoPro Plus subscription. Advantage number one, up to 50% off of accessories at GoPro.com. And yeah, that's a pretty good cost savings. I look at the accessories that I did buy and how much money I saved having them, and that covered the cost of the subscription easily. Another thing is that you get full use of the GoPro app. And that's pretty good because I believe that without a subscription, you don't have access to themes, you don't have access to the GoPro music library, and in all fairness, when I'm actually out and about and I want to make a quick clip to upload to YouTube or Instagram or any kind of like sites like that, or send it even to the local news stations if I captured something, you know, I want to edit really, really quickly and really fast, and I do find the GoPro app is one of the quickest ways to do that. Another thing is that you get unlimited cloud backup. That for me is not so useful. I back up everything to hard drives. I've got a 16 gig hard drive over there that I actually back up to. I've got a couple of 4 gigs as well as emergency backups. And I tend to kind of like dump a lot of files. Plus the GoPro Cloud's upload is actually pretty slow. It can take a number of days to upload just a few clips. But, you know, if you're one of those people that charges a camera at night, which I usually do, yeah, it's probably good to have them, all those clips up there on the cloud. But, you know, I think it's one of those psychological things, because if you ever decide, yeah, I don't need all this footage anymore, or I don't want my GoPro Plus subscription, it becomes this thing of, well, what about all these hundreds of files that you now have on the cloud? You know, it's going to take you hours upon hours to download them all, sort through them all, see what you want to save, or, you know, just pay $50 for a subscription. So, yeah, I mean, that's one of those things. You either want it or you don't. But the main benefit is basically if you damage your camera, or your camera, you know, decides to go belly up, paying basically around 1/3 of the price for the camera rather than paying the whole price, that's a real cost saver. I didn't think I was actually going to ever replace one of the cameras. Just, you know, as they go out of date, that was absolutely fine. I have a couple of GoPro Hero 6s. It's like, if they become damaged, am I going to pay money to have them replaced? Probably not. I'd rather save up the money and buy a later camera. But I actually found it quite useful with the Hero 9. Not my favorite camera. I mean, yes, this is a Hero 10 for the eagle-eyed viewers, but it was actually a Hero 9 I used. I just didn't use it in this example because it's still hooked up to the media mod and a couple of microphones at the moment. But honestly, it was one of those things where I did want to be able to use the media mod with my GoPro Hero 9. I did want to do extended time lapses because with the GoPro Hero 10 firmware, you can't really do that anymore now, can you? So yeah, I actually found it quite useful. I found it worth the money and the time to have a GoPro Plus subscription. But, you know, there are a couple of things to bear in mind. And like I said, you will actually have to return a camera before anything happens. If your camera is lost or stolen, not covered. And the other thing is that you can only exchange a camera like a like-for-like model. If you have a Hero 8, you can't say, well, can I pay extra and get a Hero 10? Absolutely not. You're going to have a replacement Hero 8. That's just the way it goes. I mean, maybe GoPro will actually change that in the future. Who knows? But in the meantime, would I recommend the GoPro Plus subscription to people? Yeah, I think at the end of the day I would. The money I saved replacing my camera and the money I saved on accessories pretty much covers the cost, and I actually do like using the app. I think it's pretty handy and pretty quick. So hopefully that gave you a brief insight into how the GoPro Plus subscription works and if it's actually going to be worth it for you. Or if you ever need to exchange a camera, what to include when you send back your camera and what not to include. So hopefully you found this video helpful. And if you did, please click that like and the subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything. And remember, I make these videos for free. I'm not sponsored. I'm not endorsed by GoPro or anything like that. These are completely independent and honest reviews that you're getting based upon my own experiences. And I find that to be very important for you guys. So, you know, click that like and subscribe button and help a person out. In the meantime, try and have a great day, and thank you very much for watching.